Everyone, and welcome to Chef AJ Live. I'm your host, Chef AJ, and this is where I introduce you to amazing people like you who are doing great things in the world that I think you should know about. Well, my guest today is Diana Bananas, and she is going to teach you, if you will, how you can eat healthy with or without teeth. She has a new book of the same name, and she has discounted it greatly for us. I'll have all that information in the chat and in the show notes, 99 cents to be exact. I actually met her in my stand-up comedy class that I take most all year round with Carrie Otis, having no idea that she was somebody who was watching my show or even vegan for that matter. Please welcome Diana to the show on her birthday. It's very popular to want to do Chef AJ Live on your birthday. Happy birthday, Diana.
Oh, thank you so much, Chef AJ, and thank you again for your gracious and kind words and having me tonight.
Well, it's my pleasure. We were going to do this as a pre-record and air it New Year's Day, but then I found out it was your birthday, and I'm like, well, then let's just do it live. So you've got quite a story.
Yes, yes, I do. So, are we ready? I'm just gonna
I'm ready to
wing
hear
it with
it.
slides.
Nice.
So, actually, my story goes back quite a few years. It goes back to when I was about 13 years old. And I ran into a mailbox while playing baseball with a couple kids in the neighborhood. Good news, the mailbox was fine. Bad news is I cracked one of my teeth. On top of that, I also had braces, and my father was away on his honeymoon. So my mother did with her parental thing and got that all taken care of. But that allowed that tooth to have a cap on it. And as time went on, the tooth started to rot inside the cap. And little did I know, that was going to slowly desecrate all of my teeth. And basically, I ended up writing a book earlier this year, putting it out earlier this year, that I had to find a way to eat healthy with or without teeth.
Wow.
So this is what my teeth looked like in the beginning. And you can see these are my front teeth that are actually both capped. And I'm already missing teeth and then implants. So yes, it was quite a story. It was quite a journey for me with my teeth. I had a rough go. It was a rough recovery, as you can tell, when it came to eating and vitamins and making sure I had the proper nutrition. Even though they did put me on a lot of medication, that really, really kind of helped it go. But they did tell me, my doctor, my diet was restricted because I was not vegan yet, because this was in September 2020. And what they told me is I couldn't have heat and I couldn't have anything hard, which this was the result of eating a lot of dairy and very high fattening foods that were soft and cold. I was not happy with this. As you imagine, that I'm a small woman to begin with, and this was not a waistline that I could brag about to anybody. So I went to juicing, like many people do, juicing and smoothies, which kind of drove me nuts, and I found myself not satisfied at all and very hungry. So what I did is I searched the internet, because they say you can find anything you want on Google. So you know what I searched for? How to lose weight without losing your mind. And I ran into this young man who's Dr. Doug Lisle. He was being hosted by a show, Forks Over Knives, who was actually being hosted by our honored host now, Chef AJ.
Yep,
And
that was actually my producing thing, but somehow it got on their channel, not mine.
really,
Yeah, it's a long story, but
okay,
anyway.
yeah, but you did host it too, also.
Absolutely. I arranged all the guests. I procured the venue and I invited Dr. Lisle and I even paid him.
It was a great, I'll tell you what, it led me right to you. His
I'm so
speech led
happy to
me
hear
right to
that.
you, that led me to Dr. McDougall, that, set me on my journey on where I'm actually at now. But that was really the beginning, was you and Dr. Doug Lisle.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, actually, because it's actually changed my life for the better. What I used, because I wasn't really sure where to start, which I find out a lot of people who want to go vegan or want to be healthier, or are running into the problem where they want to lose weight and they don't want to lose their mind. This is one of the websites I used. They have an app, you know, which you actually see right down here. And I downloaded the app because I had no idea where to even go. So I went to PCRM and Dr. Neil Bernard, terrific actually. But that didn't really click until a couple days later. Actually, I started this. I was doing the PCRM Kickstart, 21-day vegan Kickstart for about, I'd say for about a week. And then I went to my grocery store and I turned the corner and this is what my clicking moment was. My aha. My holy smokes, it is the food. That is Cinnamon Toast Crunch, 2 for $5. You can make anything taste like it. That was my big aha moment. I wanted to eat like this though. This is what I wanted. My problem is I was still having dental issues. So what I had when you saw that wonderful mouth before is I had all those teeth removed, except for 2 implants I got as a teenager. Well, here we're looking at that. They were all removed in September 2020. In March 3rd, 2021, I went whole food plant exclusive or healthy vegan. And I think it was April, May, June or July of that same year, those implants I had that I received when I was 18 failed and had to be removed. So I had to go through everything over again. Oops, I went too far too soon. Everything all over again. And I had to find a way to do it. This was going to be if my food had a face, that would be its face. This is actually my salad. I know I'm getting off track and like lose track of my story here, but the salad to your right is actually what I try to eat at every holiday. So that's like my holiday salad. So I am on my 3rd denture piece. Those implants failed, so they had to rearrange the implants I actually already had installed that were not being revealed. So I had to go back to eating food that was cold, no temperature. So I know what it's like to actually have teeth extracted, implants extracted. I think I've also had 2 bone grafts at this point and needed healing time between all of them, which usually, if you get, depending on the extraction, you're looking at 3 days to 2 weeks of no heat with your food. So room temperature is okay and cold is okay.
Hey, Diana, can I ask you a question? Why
Sure.
is that though? That's obviously what your dentist or your surgeon told you, but why? Why is that so?
It's the stitches that are in.
Okay,
You don't want to melt them.
got it. I just
And a
couldn't.
lot of the work I was having was pretty extensive. So they kind of stitched everything. They actually had like a mesh piece and then stitched it inside my gum. So they had to remove the stitches and that mesh piece, if that makes sense.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, I had some pretty extensive because I had originally 4 implants, and then I had 2 implants that had teeth attached, which was my first, which I think that's actually when you met me, I think I had that denture piece. Then, because those implants that were holding that denture piece failed, they had to rearrange the 4 I had in and put in 2 more.
Wow.
So
This is quite a story. Was this ordeal painful?
very, very, I mean, like I had, before I had my wisdom teeth out and I had implants put in, but they gave you like really good, they used to give you different kinds of drugs. Like I was knocked out for them. To get all these teeth removed that I had, I was awake. It took them 7 hours. 7 hours. I had to get shot with Novocaine 3 times for them to
Wow.
remove all those teeth. Yeah, it was a lot. I'm actually not even done with it. I actually got some bottom implants that will be cut open in March, and then I have the other side. But the front teeth, those are actually mine, and I'm keeping them. They're in good shape. Now, mind you, I did take care of my teeth, so this wasn't like pure neglect. Now, I'm not gonna lie, I did have a bit of a habit of having a junky diet. I did try and live off Fritos and cheese a lot. And I did smoke for about 27 years. But, I still flossed every day. I still brushed twice a day, that kind of thing. It just didn't seem to matter. So this is kind of what I kind of came up with. This is actually a recipe that I almost have set up. It's broccoli, cauliflower. I actually am going to add carrots to it. It's actually pretty tasty because if there's a will, there's a recipe, especially if you're trying to eat healthy. And these is actually pictures from my book. So this is just obviously these are ones like post surgery when I can actually start to chew again. This is a little easier. This would be like a nice breakfast with the chia seeds, in case you're not sure. It's not clear what it is. Chia seeds, bananas, and oatmeal. Absolute favorite of mine, actually. And then I have to give an honorable mention to Dr. Brooke Goldner, because I discovered her in August of last year. Now, I do suffer from an autoimmune disease, and this book does not really touch on that too much. I did stay focused with the teeth, but I was able to I was already reversing everything, just sticking to like McDougall diet, and there's plenty of other doctors to play in there. That's just the one off the top of my head. However, with being on her hyper-nourishment smoothie and, with eating up here where it's pure raw, by August, by October, at the end, mid to the end of October of 2021, I regained full eyesight that I lost in my right eye. I lost most of my peripheral vision. And that came back. Actually, I was at my nephew's wedding and I could see the seatbelt I was putting on. And I was like, oh my gosh, I have vision over here. And I hadn't had it in over a decade. So, I do have to bring her up, and her smoothies along with, and they are mentioned in my book, her smoothies along with a lot of my different recipes really is what got me through a lot of my dental procedures. And then when I realized, once I started telling people my story, they tend to wanted to see how I did it. So I went to, I believe, T-Con Campbell, and I became Starch certified, and I was able to enter lifestyle medicine as an academia. And I started my own company so I can actually help coach other people to their wellness. My tagline is helping you define what health means to you. Because after working with a couple people, I actually realized my definition of health and their definition of health might look completely different. So I kind of just help them define it so they can take control of it. So, and I have different things where, I've actually done exercise recommendations where we've done exercise programs to help become a habit of your regular life, weight loss, emotional support, and of course, weekly and monthly check-ins.
This must have cost a fortune.
What part?
Everything.
Oh my gosh, I'm about 54, teeth alone is about 5,400. Well, 54,000. Oh my gosh, I'm sorry.
Wow.
The teeth alone is 54,000. But okay, so Chef AJ, you met me during a comedy class that I was taking, if you recall. I actually got hurt at work in the beginning of 2022 in January. I slid on ice with a stack of bread. The stack of bread won.
Oh my gosh.
And when I went to go, I was actually coming down a ramp, and as soon as my feet hit the pavement, my feet went up in the air and the stack of bread was still coming at me. So this has nothing to do with teeth. But I pushed the stack of bread and one of the trays fell and ripped my scalp open. And I had to get 7 staples. So they were worried about me tearing a ligament. I was in a neck brace and all kinds of stuff. I ended up being a pinched nerve, but then the nerves weren't talking right because it would hurt here and this hand would hurt, not this hand. It was like all weird. So I had time. So that's when I took the McDougall classes, and I took the T-Con Campbell classes and had a great comedy class with you.
Nice. How is your health now and how are your teeth now? They look beautiful.
This is actually the final denture piece. This was only $8,000. Just the denture piece alone. So I went to the wrong, I should be delivering bread. I should become a dentist. I really, really should. That's where the money's at. My health's great. Actually, I have my blood work. I was bragging to everybody, my blood work is as good as a 25-year-old. For the third year in a row, my doctor looked at me. I actually just had this doctor's appointment last Tuesday. And she said, how do you get older and healthier every year? She's like, your weight is off. Your numbers are spectacular. You're so boring health-wise. This is so great. She goes, you're still on that diet, aren't you? And my doctor, I love that woman. She has a great bedside manner. She's a vegetarian. I have not managed to get her to go completely vegan, but I am actually not her first patient to go whole food plant exclusive and have remarkable results. I am like her second or third. But you would think like that would tell me, maybe you should do it for your own health.
There's a question from a live viewer named Peggy. Do you see a biological dentist?
No.
How did you find a dentist? And is it a dentist that did this, or like was it a specialist type of dentist?
It was a periodontist, and he actually recommends my book out to his patients.
Nice. How did you find one? Because I imagine they have to be somebody good to do all.
Actually, it was through my dentist. Okay, so I was seeing the same dentist for about 20 years, and he just kept fixing every root canal I had. Never said anything to me about how I'm going to have to get them removed or how bad a condition they're in at all. He retired like on the spot. Like I went in for my next appointment and the receptionist was like, oh, you didn't get the letter. He retired like a month ago. So, I mean, they had one. I looked up one. I knew I was going to have a lot of dental issues. I already knew it. So I went and I found one that's local to me. And I looked at his website. The reconstructing mouths are his like thing. I even asked him, he did Legos as a kid. So it's like reconstructing things. This is his thing. He loves doing this for people. And he's maybe 10 miles away from my house, and he works with a periodontist. So now I actually just go to the periodontist for that specific work instead of going from the dentist. And
where do you live?
I live just outside of Philadelphia. I'm 45 minutes away from Trenton and 45 minutes away from Philadelphia. So I'm kind of.
Oh, isn't there, because I went to Penn, isn't there a dental school at University of Pennsylvania?
Probably.
Yeah. Well, somebody is saying like this could be done cheaper at a dental school, but you had a big thing that needed to be.
You know what? I'll be honest with you. You know those like minute dental places, or you can go to like Smart Dental Place and we'll get you your dentures. I know somebody who paid, I think, $1,000 less than I did, and they did a rush job. Don't you know? 3-4 years later, he can't even use that denture piece. He's asking for his money back. 3 out of his 5 implants have failed. And this was like, I don't want to knock what company it is because I don't remember what dental place, but it's one that advertises all the time. And
right. And can you eat anything now, even an apple?
Now I can eat any. Are you kidding? While I was waiting for this to start, I had an apple. I bit right into an apple, which, by the way, I have missed so much. It was one of the things I've missed mainly because I love apples. And now I can, as long as I bite with my bottom first, I can bite into apples now. So yeah, I'm pretty much unlimited, except for the fact that whole food plant exclusive.
Nice. Well, this is wonderful. This is Christmas Eve, which is also your birthday. Are you making anything special? And did you get tired of having to eat your food, a soft blended, and it could be cold, right? Just not hot.
Yes. It wasn't always where I couldn't have heat. It's just, it was that time period that I couldn't have heat. So, yeah. I mean, like now I can eat hot things all the time.
Well, you know,
And I didn't really get bored because when it comes to, and I didn't know this before my aha moments, with the whole food plant exclusive, I used to eat such little variety before I started eating healthy. So my variety has just grown. I actually used to go to the grocery store, especially when I really first started this, um, and pick out different fruits or vegetables that I've never heard of just to try them because it was something new. And a lot of fruits, the internal is really soft, like dragon fruit. I mean, wow. I haven't never had dragon fruit. I never even would have thought to buy dragon fruit. And just the soft, it's so soft and it's so sweet in the center. Now, and I don't get local. So what I did to actually keep costs down, because actually in Pennsylvania, the last I read, we have some of the highest food costs in the country. I don't really know how that works, but instead of going grocery store, right now don't have a choice. But I started doing farm shares because there's a lot of local farms to me, and you pay like a blanket amount of money in the beginning of the season, and you just pick up it's 8 to 15 pounds every week of different produce that's grown locally. So kale's grown locally, broccoli's grown locally. So it's my varieties less in the summer, but more, and it's cheaper. It's already paid for. So like blackberries, strawberries, these all are local to me. So when apples are local until I think now this is when they stop the harvest of apples.
you know, if you were a raw foodist, you wouldn't be eating hot food anyway. So
I'm actually very high raw, very, very high raw. And there's actually times when I go raw. I actually went raw and I challenged other people to go with me on social media because I do TikTok once a week. And to go raw, I went raw from November 1st to Thanksgiving Day, completely and totally.
where'd you get the name Diana Bananas?
Because Diana Apples doesn't sound right, and I am a little now that with my teeth issues, I couldn't eat apples at the time. There was times where I couldn't eat apples, and they're one of my favorite. They're not the favorite, but they are one of the favorite. And that's the other thing. I love bananas.
Yeah, and bananas are probably something that you were always able to eat, even without teeth.
Actually, for the first 3 months, what was it, 3 weeks to a month when I got the initial surgery, I was not even able to bite into a banana. So it took 3 weeks for me to actually even have like cold mashed potatoes or like a blended, too much of a substance. There was like 3 days that I just didn't eat. So it was just,
Really? Wow.
yeah, luckily I was off of work at the time, so I just kind of took my pain meds and stayed in bed. I mean, I don't recommend that by any stretch of the imagination unless you are able to take time off, but it's like it was so painful with everything. And then as the pain subsided, I started adding like applesauce, and you start slow. And remember, at first I wasn't whole food plant exclusive at all. That's why I literally gained 30 pounds from September to like February. It was all dairy. Really,
Wow.
it was because it was soft, it was cold, and it was easy. Yogurts, dairy, that kind of stuff. I just put on weight. I'm not a big woman by any stretch of the imagination. So within like the first 6 months, I was down like 35 pounds.
That's interesting because I remember having a doctor on the show who was Indian, vegetarian, not vegan, and he said just the minute he gave up dairy, he lost weight. That
Yeah,
makes sense.
I didn't realize how much I actually have a video on my YouTube channel about being a cheese addict because I didn't realize how much cheese I ate until I stopped eating cheese.
Yeah. Here's a question from a live viewer. Would you recommend root canals to others if a dentist suggests it, or just get the tooth pulled?
It depends on the situation. The reason there was a lot more root canals in my mouth is because they wanted to save the tooth. The dentists, I don't know if it's in their training or what, but they really want to save that tooth. It depends on where it is. If it's a back tooth, I would probably get it extracted. But I understand, like, money is a real thing, and what is your insurance going to pay for it? And my insurance pays for an implant and a half a year. I don't
Wow,
know who gets an implant and a half, but that's okay.
that is crazy. Did you have to take out a loan for all of this work?
Yes. Yes, and then I had an emergency where I actually had my only tooth that was actually, they told me it was a great looking tooth, went on me here in April of this year. So I had to get that extracted, but they were going to put implants in there anyway. So I have 2 more implants, and that's what he's going to be cutting my gum open and putting like little screws in, like you saw in the beginning of my slideshow, in March. So I'll have like 3 days where I won't be able to eat food with heat again and very soft food.
Gosh, you are a trooper, let me tell
You
you.
know what? I'm gonna die with beautiful teeth.
Here's a question from a live viewer named Ellen wanting to know, could you tell us the story of how you quit smoking? Because you said, I believe that you were smoking for 27 years.
Yes. Trying over and over again. It's one of those don't quit. Like don't quit quitting. Because believe it or not, it took practice to be such a good smoker. It takes practice to not be. And that's what I tell everybody. And I trust me, I urge people. And I saw this is a terrible story, but I actually saw my father died of emphysema. He suffocated to death, and we watched because there's nothing you can do. At one point, it was end stage. No, I'm sorry, I apologize. It was end stage COPD, and I basically watched him suffocate to death, and he lived off cigarettes. And I saw that he died in March. Was it 2015? He died in December. March of that year, I quit smoking, and I was done because I was just done because I saw what it was doing to us as children, and what it was doing to his wife, and it just to put somebody I love. And this is definitely going to be an encouragement to quit smoking. To put somebody I love through that kind of agony when I can't even, for lack of a better term, wipe my own ass, and I can't breathe because I can't breathe long enough to do it. I couldn't put somebody I love through that personally. So I quit. It took time. I mean, I was trying on and off, but I finally did it. I used everything I could. I used patches. I used the hotline. There's a cigarette hotline out there, like a smoking cessation hotline. I used, there's lozenges. I was on lozenges for about 3 years after I smoked. I was actually on lozenges until I had that surgery in September
What
20.
did you say you were on? What? I don't know.
A lozenge.
Oh, so like that had some nicotine in it.
Yeah, like a 2%. You
Oh,
can
got it.
get them
Okay.
at
Yeah,
Walgreens. You can get them at any, CVS, Walgreens, Rite Aid. You can get them at Walmart for a cheaper price. And just having that there was helpful.
that is really remarkable. Congratulations.
But yeah, so my advice to anybody who's trying to quit, keep trying. You will get there, but keep trying.
Yeah. Oh boy. You've been through a lot.
Yes, and you know what? And I didn't even get into like the autoimmune part of it. This is just the dental thing. My second book is more about my autoimmune disease and going through all that. And I can get into that a little bit if you like, but
Sure. It's
I
your
actually
birthday.
have multiple sclerosis.
You can
I
do
was
whatever you want on
diagnosed.
your birthday.
What's that?
I said you can talk about whatever you want on your birthday.
I actually do have a recipe that we can make too.
Yeah,
I'm
that
going to eat
sounds
it
that
whether we
that
make it or
sounds
not.
great.
Yes, it's actually a really simple one too. So, do you have a preference?
Yeah, finish your story about autoimmune and then
Okay.
hop over to the
Yes. So
recipe.
I suffer from multiple sclerosis. I was diagnosed in 2009. I had chronic headaches for over a decade. I've had optical neuritis, and I lost peripheral vision in my right eye. All this started in about between 2009 and 2012. I actually had nerve neuropathy in my hands and in my feet. Just to give the ending away, that's now all gone. Okay. And within 6 months, when I started oh my gosh, where was I going with this? When 6 months within starting the whole food plant exclusive was all that gone. The only thing that didn't come back and that I now have. I actually was wearing glasses. I wore glasses from the time I was 28 up until I was 44, and I haven't needed glasses since then.
May I ask how old you are now?
Yes, you may. I am 47 and I have 20/25 and 20/20 vision. I was just at the eye doctor less than a month ago. He said, which I thought was interesting. He said, wear +1s if you're reading, because you will wear out your eyes. But other than that, you don't need glasses at all for anything. And I was in glasses at 28 years old, all the way to I was 44.
Nice.
So yeah, it just gone. The chronic headache gone. The neuropathy in my hands and feet gone. The peripheral vision back. Like everything. I do have to give her a lot of credit, by the way, just so you know.
Thank you. Had you heard about the plant-based diet before you saw that lecture?
I did see Forks Over Knives, but I don't think it really, information is one of those things that you can't really digest it unless you're ready to hear it. So I saw a lot of and it didn't click. Like it didn't click. It's interesting because a lot of this started for my own health. And a lot of this continues for my own health. When I go on TikTok, I really do talk about health more than I talk about anything else. But it's really coming down, it really comes down to the animals. And I'm so shocked being such an animal lover. It took me so long, up until I think earlier this year, for that to click. It really is about them. And it's just so remarkable, all the evidence we see, how pigs are like dogs and cows are like giant dogs. And chickens are a lot like cats, but yet we choose to breed them for food. But they're just this, like, chickens are a great example because that's, I think, the #1 worldwide animal. I think it might be pigs. I'm not really sure which one it is, but that's devastating. I mean, I know, Chef AJ, you have an awesome dog, Bailey. I
Yep.
have a cat, and he's like very sensitive to all his surroundings. Chickens are exactly the same way. Very, very sensitive. So, and they all need each other.
Well, thank you for being vegan for the animals too.
Yes, yes. It's not only for my own health, it's also for the animals.
Well, what's good for your health is good for theirs and the planet, but yet so few people seem to understand that.
Yes. You know what? And the planet thing, I see that too. Just if you, I am just outside of Philadelphia. Don't you know it? I went to church today, 45 degrees, 46 degrees outside in December. This time last year, now I only know this because I actually journal daily. This time last year it was 15.
Ooh.
That's the temperature we should have, though. That's more normal for this time of year. It's 55 and raining at 1 o'clock, what was it, 3 a.m.? It's 55 and rainy. That's too warm. It's just not, it's not normal for this area. We should be seeing a little bit more. Not that I love the white stuff, but when you're used to it. I mean, one great thing about living in this area, we do see all 4 seasons, sometimes in one day, but we do see all 4 seasons.
Yeah, that's interesting. I didn't mind one season when it was warm, you know.
We don't get the same kind of warmth. Well, I know you were in the desert, so that's like a whole different level of warmth.
Yeah,
I don't know.
it's crazy, but I liked it, you know.
Okay.
Look at
I know now it's.
Look at me now wearing like big scarves and big woolly sweaters and hats almost every
You know
day.
how many times I see you live like that, and I'm like, I completely agree. I just find it interesting that you're in California and I'm in Philadelphia and we're dressed exactly like.
I think it's just me. I think I was born cold. What from your book, tell us a little bit about it. It's an irresistible price, guys. It's 99 cents. There's a link in both the chat and the show notes. Is the book, how many recipes are in the book? Because it's also your story, correct?
It's a bit of my story. I'm a very forward person. I don't know if you picked up on that, Chef AJ. I struggle with fluff. I really, really do struggle with fluff. So it's really like,
Sorry, you struggle with what? I didn't hear that word.
fluff. I can't fluff. I can't bull crap.
Oh, fluff. Okay, fluff. Okay.
Yeah,
No,
fluff stuff.
the reason I stopped you is fluff is also the name of a marshmallow confection.
Fluffernutter.
Yeah, no, but the actual thing that you make the fluffernutter.
Oh, it is fluff. Okay.
Yeah. So I'm like, because fluff is something you probably could have eaten during your tooth recovery.
Ah, that's the other thing is I don't have a sweet tooth.
Well, that's good in a lot of ways, huh?
Yeah, I don't know if you remember that adorable young man that you're going to have on later in the show, Luca. That cooking class I took with you.
Yeah.
I'm the only one that didn't make cake because I did, but I didn't make it first because it's not It just doesn't come to me as, I don't have a sweet tooth, so
Well, then don't try to have a sweet tooth. Good for
no, I
you.
don't.
My sweet tooth has evolved, and I would rather the other night Charles was having dessert, and I'm like, I'd rather have chips and salsa. So that's what I had for dessert. That's like I've changed into a savory girl. Hey, here's a question from a live viewer about your eyesight. What was your prescription prior to to what it is now? And did the hypernourishing, was that what restored your eyesight?
Uh, yes, it was 2040, sometimes 2060. And if I was going through a relapse, the eye was blurry anyway, so I couldn't see. I had distortion of color, and I kind of had like blurry to double vision if I was going through a relapse. I've relapsed twice.
Nice. And Ellen is saying, are the nicotine lozenges hard on the teeth?
I don't know. Because everything was kind of going on at the same time. Once I gave up, that's what really finally did me putting down the lozenges. And I didn't really need them because I actually tried it with like Altoids or like a sugar-free mint a couple times instead of having the nicotine lozenges, and I was fine. It's having something there.
Mm-hmm.
That's what really, it was that and it wasn't, so I was past the hand and mouth addiction, which is what you get with smoking a lot of times. I was past that, but I needed something there.
Got
Now
it.
I'm not, so sometimes I do mints. I do have Altoids on the side over here because I get too nervous. But water's usually fine now. I still hypernourish. So, and yet night hypernourish did help restore that eyesight because that's the only thing that didn't already restore itself before I started that.
Interesting. So before you get to the recipe, and I do want to see it, I want to know what your favorite recipe is from the book, and what do you eat in a day?
Oh, AJ, those are hard. What's my favorite recipe from the book?
Mm-hmm.
Really depends on my mood. I do eat a lot of variety. I think I liked the pasta one. A lot of the pictures I showed on here are actually in my book. Depending on the cold, okay, so if it's a cold day, then probably the chili recipe I have. But if it's warmer or I'm just in the mood, probably the pasta. But I've even evolved a little bit from having that because I now take the zucchini and yellow squash and spiralize it. I didn't have a spiralizer before, but I spiralize that and use that in the noodles. And then I add kidney beans. I believe it's kidney beans. I can't remember the recipe off my top of my head. I'm sorry. I actually do have it. Oh my gosh, you're asking me these great questions and I'm like not thinking.
That's okay. Show the recipe if you want. Maybe it'll come back to you.
Yeah, it's tough though, because it's like oatmeal, I have to be in the mood. When you're in a different mood for things and you want my favorite.
Mm-hmm.
I do like, I have, again, these recipes aren't necessarily mine. I am not a chef by any stretch of the imagination, but I have a soft and sweet, oh, you can't see that. A soft and sweet pie crust, which you could use for any kind of pie. It's made from raw cashews, dates, and oatmeal. And I try and make that once, even twice a year. So, and I actually use apple. I don't have the full recipe. I just have the crust part, and then you can add whatever filling you like. But I like to use apples. I think it's just with date syrup and apple cider vinegar. It's really it. I mean, it's really, really simple. Simple. And then what I eat daily, it really depends on my mood. I do vary. I'm with you, Chef AJ, the air fried potatoes.
Mm.
And what I've been doing actually is I've been doing beets, radishes, and potatoes and air frying them with onion and garlic cloves. This way the garlic cloves are kind of crunchy, and so are the onions. That's like a huge, huge favorite of mine. And I'm really boring because if you even ask me about salad dressing, I don't eat salad. I didn't like salad dressing before I came food plant exclusive. I still don't. I don't need a whole lot of like dressing or sauce with it. So
Did you ever do blended salads when your teeth were healing?
yes, yes,
I actually kind of like those. They're kind of like savory smoothies, you know?
yes, pretty much, pretty much. I actually, tomatoes to me, believe it or not, actually taste like grapes. I can eat tomatoes like grapes. So I actually buy the little ones just so I can eat them like grapes. That's a nice, relaxing. You know how some people think tomatoes are fruit, some is a vegetable. I would only say it's a fruit because I eat it like a fruit.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know if I really answered like what I eat in a day. So I work overnight is my actual job. I work overnight. That's what pays the bills. I deliver bread. So I have, when I wake up, I have about five of these. I think these are clementines, mandarins. I have about five of these on my way to work. And then I have about 3 apples during work, and I have the hypernourishment smoothie. So starting at like between 1 a.m. and 6 a.m.,
Wait,
I'm
so
drinking hypernourishment smoothie.
when do you sleep? And because that's really interesting because, you know, there's so many studies about how it's more difficult for people to regulate weight and things like that. So when is your sleep and what is your first meal or for like what most people would call breakfast?
Uh, no, I'm not perfect. I know sleep is actually important, and I managed to lose weight while working overnight too. So I managed to do all of this while having an overnight job. I guess 11 a.m. is breakfast / lunch. So it's like between like 1 a.m. and 6 a.m. I'm eating apples or hypernourishment smoothie. And then when I come home from work, I'm having either a big salad or I'm having a pasta meal or I'm having the potatoes. And I like to mix it up where it's like one day I'll have rice. And I'm finding that I don't like my broccoli. I like it cooked, but not all the way. So I actually I do like a batch cook of when it comes to rice and add broccoli and then water and then put it in the microwave. So the broccoli is not fully cooked, but it's warm. So it's still crunchy. I mean, I obviously couldn't have done that with when I didn't have teeth to chew it, but now I can. So I have crunchy broccoli and then I dump the water out and add onions and garlic. So look, I just eat something different every day. But I am in love with leafy green vegetables. Like bok choy is my favorite. Then it would probably be kale, collard greens, spinach, cabbage, and in that order. So I'm a huge leafy green. And I think, listening to you and the different programs, whether it's I know you have a lot of food classes. I think I've taken some of them, or Brooke Goldner or the McDougall diet. All of them have that leafy green vegetable component. And I've never not liked vegetables. So I don't remember ever my mom making me have to eat vegetables or forcing me to. I think really at a young age, I started talking and she just shoved broccoli in my mouth. I mean, like kudos to my mom. Trust me, I've thanked her because I've never not liked vegetables.
Well, that's good. And you know, that's interesting that you say that. And that might have contributed to you not really having a sweet tooth because, you know, having
Yeah. Actually, what I find is, and I tell people this, if you're having salty cravings, like savory cravings, eat more vegetables. If you're having sweet cravings,
eat more fruit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
eat more fruit. You already knew what I was going to say.
One of the viewers is asking, did you ever wonder if your dental work contributed to your MS?
Yeah, that's an unknown factor. I can't disprove or prove that. But remember, I can't. They would never connect it. And the lesion in my brain, full disclosure, is still there. Like it does still show up. It's the same lesion I've always had, though. I just don't have it continuous lesions. I have to get an MRI every 18 months.
Wow, that's so interesting.
Yeah, you know what they found? My sinuses are clogged. I couldn't have told you that. It has nothing to do with MS.
Yeah.
So I looked it up and I actually recently stopped doing anything with wheat. Now, it's not that I'm recommending this, but I actually gave up wheat, refined sugar, and I already didn't eat dairy. And that's actually, I'm feeling the drain. Like I'm feeling a drain. It's not more or less. I just, like every day I have to at least blow my nose once or twice that I never had to do before. So yeah, it's clearing out my sinuses.
Very cool. So let's see your recipe. I can't wait to watch you
Yeah,
cook.
it's actually called a root blend. It's a blended recipe. What I like about it is cauliflower and broccoli. And Chef AJ, you know this. They're so diverse. Like I don't care what anybody says. You can do everything. And I did use them for everything. So I already have blender set up. I have carrots, broccoli and cauliflower in there. And then I'm just gonna actually add a little water. Now, my original recipe is usually like, see, remember because I don't do refined sugar, carrots actually taste very sweet to me. So carrots is almost adding the sweet. I don't have it as many carrots because I wasn't looking to get sweet. That is about a cup and a half of water. I tried to make it easier for your viewers to see. I might have failed on that. So this is a Vitamix blender. I've been told it's pretty quiet. I actually have the other kind of blender that Chef AJ recommends downstairs. I was told by my household that it's too loud. So when I'm doing a TikTok at 7 a.m., I was told asked not to use that. So I'm gonna see if I can bring this down there. Not that you guys really want to watch it blend, but how am I doing? All right, quick blend. Now you can even add avocado. It's really up to you. I've been adding avocado, but I don't always. And it really depends. Like if I have like a weight loss goal I'm trying to make, I'm not gonna add an avocado. But if I'm worried about it, I want more flavor, definitely adding avocado will make it creamier. Sorry about the noise. So I had about 2 cups of broccoli and cauliflower and about 3 carrots.
And this is all raw, right? You didn't cook it, right, Diana? She didn't hear me. Okay.
So that's what you're kind of looking at.
And Diana, this was raw. You didn't cook any of the
I
vegetables.
didn't cook any of it.
Nice.
Completely raw. What I like about this recipe, what I prefer to do with it is put it over mashed potatoes. Honestly, so I use this actually as a gravy. Now, if I want to, I can blend more. What I normally do, of course I didn't this time, what I normally do is I normally add a little bit of water, blend, add a little bit of water, blend. And something to that nature. Or instead, and like I said, I can usually put this like right over, and that's probably what I'm gonna do with it. I'm probably gonna add this right to mashed potatoes. Because remember, guys, I'm not a big seasoning person for some reason. I'm trying. Some seasoning I did find I like Mrs. Dash. You know what? I'm sorry, the light's a little bright. Mrs. Dash. Minor issue.
Oh, your video's off. Didn't they rename Mrs. Dash? Just to Dash? Something about.
I don't know. Oh yeah, it is. Look at that. It's just Dash. I didn't notice it.
Yeah, something about like Aunt Jemima and Mrs. Butterworth. Everything got renamed because of the social climate.
Okay. I'm rolling with it. Because what else are you gonna do? They actually had it everything but the salt is what they used to have, and I can't find it in the store anywhere. So I went with garlic and herb. Now I could always add garlic to this, right to the bowl. But I can a lot of times I actually picked it too small of a bowl for the recipe, so I wanted to get that off camera a little bit. So I can actually just add this right to it and eat it like that. I'm also a fan of, I'm used to throwing stuff on the floor when I make a smoothie, nutritional yeast. And I'm not a brand person. I know there's a lot of stigma behind different nutritional yeasts. Let me tell you, when it became to my cheese addiction, this was my saving grace. And I used to go through a container like this every 2 weeks. I've had this for over a month.
Nice.
And was not even.
Hey, I'm curious. It's Christmas Eve and it's also your birthday. Do you have to work the night shift tonight?
No, we are off. I got really lucky because it isn't the same situation for New Year's, but we are off Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. And then I don't go back to work until Tuesday night into Wednesday. And New Year's, I'm off the New Year's Day, but not that night.
I got it.
So
Got a
New
few more,
Year's Day is the actual holiday.
have a few more questions for you from the live viewers. Where is it? Okay, I just saw it. Guys, thank you for putting 4 question marks first because it really helps. Did you ever wonder if mouth health contributed to autoimmune conditions?
Again, unknown. I know when I started having the headaches, they put glasses on me that helped, but they slowly came back within a couple years. They didn't here's the thing. I know that I've regained my health. I know I had dental issues, but once I had those teeth removed, I also fixed my diet. I also fixed my lifestyle and what I ate. I stopped using my body as a graveyard and started eating for health. So food was my medicine and my medicine was my food. That I know for a fact. I know if I start to feel a little off, I guess is the best way to put it, and kind of like not like myself or a little clumsier when I walk, I can go raw, completely raw vegan, and in 3 days, I feel like $1,000,000. I know that for a fact. What I don't know is what my dental health did or did not contribute to. I can't prove it. Like there's no way. I just know what works now.
Nice. Jennifer says, do you ever use sinus or salt rinses?
No, I tried them. They didn't work. Actually, I had my doctor put me on Flonase, not a couple seasons ago to try and drain everything out. And it did nothing. I don't have allergies now. Like my allergies barely bothered me this year. And I didn't use any allergies. But you know what I find interesting is that I didn't have any allergies until I quit smoking.
That's interesting.
Yeah, I did find that interesting. And my grandparents actually had a farm that I at least was up there at least once a year. So it's not that I wasn't even used to it. I think my smoking habit killed something that would have protected me from getting allergies. It's just a theory. Again, it's a theory.
Okay, here's Diana says, I have that's your name too, but this is another Diana. I have a friend that has MS and uses a walker. I told him about plant-based. Do you think it could help his walking ability?
Yes, but not only that. I bring her up because her classes are free now until I think it's either the 3rd or the 6th of January. So you can go to goodbyelupus.com. I keep telling Brooke Goldner I'm a great advertisement for her. I don't know if she believes me, but her classes are free. You can go on to goodbyelupus.com and you can download her classes because that's what I did. I bought her books, but I didn't pay for anything else. She had classes for free. I looked into it and I was like, that's a great food challenge because I actually like food challenges as long as they fit into my dietary needs. I love it. I actually did, oh my gosh, I can't even remember the doctor's name. I don't know why. Probably starstruck. What, you have him on Dr. Furman.
Dr.
Joe Furman.
Uh-huh.
I actually tried his nutritarian diet first and I liked it, but it was like, it was just different. But I did like it a lot because I did feel like I was getting a lot of different varieties.
Did you use as many flax seeds as she calls for, like the the half a cup per smoothie? It seems like it would be so thick if you did that.
I use you ready for this? I use a half a cup of flaxseed and a half a cup of chia seeds.
But how do you drink something that dense and it was okay that that much fat didn't affect you, huh?
Oh my gosh, I love it. If I don't have that much, I'm hungry.
Wow.
This is a grinder. So I grind them both up and I put them in. And because the flaxseed and chia seed do oxidate pretty quickly, I put them, so it's like I'll take my leafy green vegetable, the standard blender, just like she shows you, 75% full of the leafy green. And in fact, I love leafy greens. I might even go a little over sometimes. And then I grind the flax seeds and chia seeds, put them right on top. And then I add the fruit and I blend it all. So I'll actually blend a lot of the greens down. So they're more like a liquid form. So the grounded flax and chia seeds are going right into a liquid and then being topped with more greens and fruit. And I try and do only the 25% fruit. What I really find is I really like lemon with it. So like lemon and banana is like my go-to. I know it sounds weird, but believe it or not, they go so well together.
But really, that's interesting.
Yeah, I don't know. Like in the front of my book, I do have, you know, what I recommend are smoothies because it deals with a lot of inflammation, and you have that. I got my book all messed up, but you have that. I mean, like, and I do have like blueberry. My favorite is blueberries, cabbage, and like a lemon. It's like super antioxidants because that's like everything antioxidant right there with the blueberries and the cabbage. And then you have the flax seeds and the chia seeds on top of it. My gut's used to it. What I tell people who've never done it before, tablespoons. Start with tablespoons.
Yeah.
Don't go for the cups.
You know, Jay wants to know, did you get the implants before or after you quit smoking?
After.
Great.
Wait, which set?
Well,
So the ones I had when I was a teenager, I actually was smoking at the time, even though my father's like, I don't know why I'm paying for this while you're still a smoker. I'm like, yeah, have another pack, Dad. I didn't say that, but the last set, no, I quit. I quit in 2015. So it's and I didn't get my implants done until 2020. So
wow. I'm telling everybody to please buy your book today because it is your birthday and it is only 99 cents.
yes, I actually dropped the price, but that's as low as I could go. I'm sorry. I wanted to make it like 59 cents or like, I don't know, something.
Do you want me to put in the YouTube headline, like 99 cents only book? I mean, like maybe somebody will like click on it.
It's up to you. I've actually sold about 30. And what I found interesting is it really, really helped. And, you know, maybe your audience, you can think about this, especially with the holidays. Two people have actually helped. They actually had throat issues, not dental issues. A woman I go to church, she has my book. Her larynx are closing in with age. She's like 89 years old. And she's actually taken some of my recipes to use them for that because it's easier. And then I ran into somebody, I believe through TikTok when I was doing my show. And I don't know if he took the recipes or if he bought the book, because it's not like Amazon says, hey, this person bought your book. He actually was a survivor of throat cancer and was struggling to get more variety and vegetables in. So what a great excuse to, you know, not eat your vegetables right now. I'm giving you an excuse to have them in every meal.
Well, you know, it's interesting, even if somebody doesn't have the same degree of needing dental surgery as you did, like there are times like, you know, when people just have dental work that the kind of recipes you're recommending, even if it's just for a few days. So that would be good. You don't have to have, you know, major work needing to be done, you know, when you have
Absolutely.
dental.
Actually, I think it's 15 million people have a root canal a year or tooth extracted. I looked it up before I made the book. So I'm kind of a statistics junkie sometimes. So yeah, I think it's like over 15 million people have a tooth extracted a year. So
a lot of the viewers are congratulating you on your success in healing. I'm curious, what are your hours of sleeping? And when you don't have to work like tonight, do you still maintain the same sleeping schedule?
you can jump out of that schedule so quick. I usually sleep between 2 p.m. and 11 p.m. So it's still a full like 8-9 hours. And you know how some people get tired at 2 o'clock in the afternoon? I lay down.
Nice. Yeah.
Yeah. So it was actually easier for me to get in and out of the rhythm. I know it's not healthy. I was up at, what time did I wake up? I woke up at 3 a.m. this morning. And then I took a nap this afternoon.
Tell me about your experience with stand-up. How did you like it? Because you performed, you did great.
I can't wait to do it again in January. It was
yeah.
great.
What was your impetus to take it? How did you, because, you know, that's, first of all, obviously you're very brave to have to go through with surgically what you went through. I mean, I saw Pete Adonis till I was almost 60. And the only reason I stopped is because I moved and there just wasn't one that would see me anymore. So I'm really afraid of the dentist. So the fact that you did that shows how brave you are. But they say that like that's people's number one fear, stand-up comedy. And how did you like the class?
I love the class. I'm actually a little brazen. That's just a personality flaw. I think I'm the youngest of six. You had to be loud to be heard at times. So it doesn't. I always thought I was funny. Apparently, I'm not as funny as I thought I was. That's what I'm being told. So I figured I'd take the class and prove
Well,
everybody
actually,
wrong.
you know what you just said right now for those nobody, I guess most people watching aren't in the class, but what you just said is actually funny. And especially if you were doing stand up and people weren't laughing, just to say, you know, apparently I'm not as funny as I thought I was is actually hilarious.
Thank you. Thank you. Well, just like, when I ran into a mailbox when I was 13, good news. The mailbox is fine. It needed no repair. My
Well,
tooth, however.
yeah, that's funny. Well,
Yeah, I'm better at one-liners when they come out of nowhere.
yeah, yeah. Oh, you know, you might like improv then. That's my favorite. I do like stand up because I like to be in a class with my husband from time to time, but my first love has always been improv. Maybe you'll
I
try.
saw it. Is that hard? Or do you like that better? Or is
I
it
like it
is
better
it
because,
different?
okay, so I love stand up because I love the writing and the creativity, but I think it's much harder because you have to come up with stuff with improv. You just show up to class and you talk and it falls.
Okay.
I like it better. I find it more fun and I find it less scary. Also, because think about it, Diana, even though we're performing on Zoom, with stand up, it's just you. There's nobody that has your back. But with improv, you're always in the scene with at least one other person, and that's
Okay.
things like that. Like we always say right before a show, got your back. I don't know. I love it. What can I tell
So I'm
you?
wondering if I should do that instead. Although I love Carrie.
Maybe do
I
both.
really do.
Whatever fits your schedule better. So, but what time do you have to be at work?
My load time is midnight.
Oh yeah. Either way, you can take either class.
But remember, I'm 3 hours ahead of you.
Okay, yeah. Oh, all the class. Oh, no class goes later than 9, except for maybe the groundlings, that's a whole process. Yeah, it'd be fun to have you in class. If any of you guys want to take the class, let me know. It's really fun because when we have all vegans in the class, it's amazing. We've been getting so many of the doctors in the class too. So that's great. Yeah, Karen was in the same class with you and said she was great in class. And Karen, you have been gone for months. It's time for you to stop buying blenders and makeup and come back to class, young lady, because you're hilarious.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And the last showing was great. I think you guys all just keep improving.
Yeah.
Like you guys just get funnier and funnier every time.
Yeah. Roller Girl says she loved improv in high school. Yeah, nice. Well, Diana, I'm so glad that we were able to spend your birthday with you. And I'm sorry it took you so long from the time you applied to get on the show, but there's just, since we went to regular programming, we only have 30 spots a year, but I made every effort to get everybody on before the end of the year. And I think I've accomplished it, at least the people that got back to me. So do you have any special plans tonight for the rest of your birthday or Christmas Eve?
Come down from the high of being on the show.
Uh, well, if it's like if I can make somebody happy by being on the show, I will definitely do it. So yeah, thank you for mentioning Luca because he's going to be on the show on his birthday. It's funny because I get more requests for people to come on their birthday than any other day. And Luca, who's the youngest student I ever had, who was 7 when he took my master class. That's why when people say it's too hard, I'm like, really? Because here, let me show you something. I got to show you this, Diana.
I have yet to take that master class.
Okay.
It's tough doing dessert. Your desserts are like, oh, is that the new one?
Yeah, this is the advanced reader copy. So my real dessert book, well, this is the real book. It's coming out August 27th of next year. It's going to be hardcover, but you have to get, that would be too expensive to get 30 hardcover advanced reader copies. But I teach these dessert master classes because I love teaching interactive classes versus just demonstration classes, because I think that people really don't learn unless they actually do it. And with the interactive class style that I teach, and I think I'm one of the only ones that does it, I first demonstrate and then the next week the students come back. But Luca was 7 years old when he took my class.
Yes, and that's the one that I didn't make while everybody else did.
Yeah, but he would look, a 7-year-old
I
made.
know. Oh, he's adorable.
So when people say, "Oh, it's so hard," I'm like, "Really?"
No, he's adorable.
And then we have another girl in the class who's 8 named Clara. So they're going to be on.
that.
That's going to be my last live show of the year. So I'm very excited.
What a great way to end.
Yeah, because it's his birthday.
Does your audience have any idea of your genius?
Well, I don't know. I actually, when I was young, I actually did have a genius IQ, but it's decreased as I've gotten older. But
I don't know about that because I'm seeing it.
yeah, I'm not as smart as Lyle and Goldhammer, that's for sure. So
Well, you just didn't study it. Instead, you make everybody happy. What's it, best way to a man's heart is through their stomach.
yeah, it's fun. Charles, yeah, I don't know if you watched the show earlier, but Kelly Williamson is one of my favorite chefs because I've actually tasted her food, and that Jerry he's got it made, I mean,
I've seen her before. I don't think I caught today's show, but I've seen her. I've seen the two of them before.
thank you. Jennifer says, I so enjoyed your master class. Amazing dishes. Thank you for taking it. And Jennifer is going to be on the show New Year's Day. She has another remarkable story of healing and hope. And thank you, Roller Girl, for saying my skin looks beautiful. The secret, well, of course, the lighting helps,
She
but
sleeps.
I don't want to say the secret because everybody has a different secret. But I religiously stayed out of the sun for 5 years on my face. I'm not afraid to get, if my hands or legs look.
Chef AJ, you also sleep at night.
Yeah, I do. I do try to. Yep. So, but that's it. And also, yeah, well, thanks. I mean, there's still a lot of wrinkles and stuff. Believe me, if I wasn't so afraid of doctors and surgeries, I would do stuff, but I haven't. But I get accused of doing it all the time, but never have. So, how much weight when before, I'm curious though, what before you went on all that dairy, did you struggle with your weight or did you just gain it from?
Every like 5 or 10 years. And
Mhm.
it's a different program. You have Weight Watchers. I don't remember even all of them, but I have, different things that I've tried. Or when I was great when I was in my 20s, because I could just go to the gym for like 3 weeks straight and get it all off. So I wasn't small, but I wasn't big. And I was at before they even asked, I was 152 pounds and I'm just over 5 foot
Yeah,
when
that,
I went in. Yeah,
yeah.
and the smallest I've been because I wasn't at work and my job is to very much pick stuff up and put it down kind of job. So I'm using a lot of muscle. When I wasn't working, the smallest I got is 107.
Wow. What kind of
When I went back to work, I gained some muscle. So I'm about 120 pounds now.
Yeah. What kind of bread do you deliver and where do you deliver it to?
Grocery stores. I don't know. I don't know if you've heard of Wawa's before.
I haven't.
A Wawa, it's if you take a 7-Eleven.
Oh, wait, Wawa. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh. I used to go to the University of Pennsylvania and I remember the Wawa has it all.
Yeah. Now they were trying to
Oh,
get one on every corner and they pretty
oh
much
my
have done
God.
that.
Do you remember the song, guy? The Wawa has it
I
all.
worked there for 12
Big
years.
or
I can't remember
small.
the song.
Oh, so funny. I remember Wawa.
Okay, so I have 4 Wawas. I now deliver, which I'm sure you haven't heard of because they're very age specific. They're called Takis. They're by Burcell. But I'm actually a bimbo, which is bimbo, pronounced correctly. It's like the soccer team bimbo. That's who I work for. We actually own Barcel, which is a taki, which is a potato chip. It's a tortilla chip rolled up into, like a little tortilla and like thrown a crap load of spice on them. I
Yeah.
sell them in the Wawas along with I have a little shelf of bread. And then at major grocery stores.
Nice.
So I work for Bimbo, so I sell Mare's Italian, Sara Lee, Stroman, and if anybody from work is watching this, they're probably loving that I'm mentioning it all. And Barcel, and we do own Entenmann's, and
Oh my
I
God.
omit
I
the.
used to, before I was vegan, before I became vegan, I was.
You know what? You know what? The one thing that was so easy for me to like get rid of, I don't even think I was drinking at the time, and I cringe every time you say this. Soda or Slurpee or ices.
Oh my God. Well, that was my thing till I was 43. Coke Slurpee.
Yes, but AJ, when I worked at Wawa, I watched an icy machine, which is basically Wawa's version of a Slurpee,
Mhm.
drip and eat through a cement floor. It took 3 to 6 months for it to
And
be.
that's what it was doing to my teeth and my stomach. Wonder why I have so many stomach problems. I mean, you have a Coke Slurpee every day till you're
Yeah,
43.
and I'm not trying to bash you for that because let's face it,
No, you
we're
could, I
not.
mean, what was I thinking? I'm a food addict, albeit in
Yeah, but
recovery.
watching that, it was like so easy. I never really got into like soda or
You ever
anything.
get hungry on the truck and just think of grabbing a Sara Lee or an Entenmann on your long?
No, because believe it or not, some of them have eggs.
Oh,
Some
yeah.
of them I'm well aware of what I can and cannot eat. I don't think we currently make anything that I can eat because I gave up wheat also.
Yeah, same here. You know, but before I was vegan, I loved Sara Lee, especially their carrot cake and their banana cake. And I loved Entenmann's, especially their fruit cookies and Rocky Road. Boy, I ate enough sugar the first 43 years of my life to last many lifetimes.
Yeah,
So
I just didn't realize how dangerous it actually was for the human body.
oh my God. Eva says, I lost over 100 pounds by going plant-based. Congratulations. You should apply to be on the show and tell your story. And then she's asking, I'm not sure if she's asking me or you, Diana, or both, but she says, are you still salt-free? I live in Australia and my body needs salt. Your body actually doesn't need salt. Your body needs sodium. And most people can get enough sodium if they're eating enough whole natural food. I'm trying to think of who's going to come on the show that can talk about salt.
Well, I actually do iodine tablets. I actually do an iodine I think it's from algae. I know it's from, or kelp. So I am salt free I am oil free and sugar free. I'm mostly salt free, mainly because I got so used to not eating it. I just don't think of putting it on food. And
Yeah.
I don't eat processed food. So you don't eat processed food, believe it or not, you don't get a lot of salt.
Right. My recommendation is at least don't cook with it. And if you need to absolutely add a little bit of miso, low sodium miso, or one of those coconut aminos, maybe. I mean, I was perfect for like 10 years, but I don't want to say I relapsed because it's once in a while I'll have, yeah, I don't see a yellow mustard that's made without salt, and I'm too lazy to make my own salsas, but I try not to eat it at all because when I do, my wedding ring gets tight and it doesn't feel good. So anyway, Diana, I'm trying to get everybody to get that book. It's only 99 cents. It's her birthday. And even if you have teeth, you never know. You might have a dental procedure one day and you want to eat.
Might even have a throat issue.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thank you so much, Diana. And I
Thank
look
you
forward
for
to
putting
seeing.
me in. Thank you very much
Well,
for
absolutely. I mean, man, I just wish I could make everybody's Christmas dreams come true. And I'm sorry it took me so long to get to all the wonderful people that applied. So thank you, Diana. Merry Christmas. Happy
happy
birthday.
holidays.
I hope that people don't do what they do to my husband. His birthday was a couple days ago and give you one gift and say Merry Christmas. Oh, and happy birthday.
Actually, well, here's the thing is that now that I'm older, I don't really ask for a lot. But it's a, in the, because I am a Capricorn, I do like the efficiency of one big gift. So or ask for something. If I ask for something, it's for my birthday and not for Christmas.
Good for you. Yeah. One of the viewers said, I just got, it looks like a great book. I just bought it. Hey, 99 cents. That's less than the price of a Coke Slurpee.
Hey, it's even less than the price of your dental procedure.
Oh my gosh, a lot less. All right. Well, thank you so much, Diana. And I have a very happy holiday season and
Thank you,
congratulations
you
on the.
too.
My pleasure. And thanks all of you for watching this special bonus episode of Chef AJ Live. If you like this format and you got nothing to do tomorrow, I'm going to be doing something like this with some of my friends at 3 p.m. It's an Ask Me Anything, or just what they call a chat or a hangout. Because even though I've done 1,800 episodes, I never am on my own show to be able to answer your questions. And at 8 a.m., Shane Martin of Shane and Simple is going to be making his actual Christmas breakfast for his family. So be sure to tune in. So I'd sing happy birthday, Diana, but then I'd get a copyright strike.
Oh
Because
no.
it's
Well, I
copyrighted.
appreciate
So,
it. I
all right.
appreciate you.
Take care.
You
Bye,
too.
everybody.
Bye.